The actions of the younger brother of Botham John, the 18-year-old gentleman, 16 when his brother was killed, is causing uproar about forgiveness. Uh, Here's what I want you guys to smoke over. It's funny watching those of you comment as it relates to forgiveness and family when the majority of you do not even deal with the number of families in similar crises and even worse crises, if that can be imagined, such as I do, talking to mothers over and over again, year after year, talking to fathers in the same vein. Many of you, the majority of you, don't deal with that shit. A lot of you don't even deal with things going on in your own family, but have the nerve and the audacity to question those of us that are in this vein. But I just want to say, listen, a family has the right to grieve how they choose, but at 16 years old, when his brother was taken, he doesn't truly know loss. How can I say that? Of course, he understands the loss of his sibling, but at 16, he doesn't have the foresight of what his brother's murder meant to his own family, meaning that his mother will not have grandchildren by his sibling, meaning his children will not play with his nephews. Very noble of the young man, but doesn't truly understand loss. Um, and what's funny is so many of you that question those of us that say in 100% certainty that that type of activity wouldn't take place by any means as it relates to my family, you start questioning folks' faith or acting as if your faith is so high and mighty that you can look down upon those of us. Some of you state that the forgiveness is for the individual, not the actual murderer. Well, isn't it funny that this complaint is grounded in the separation of church and state? Isn't it ironic that this complaint deals with the fact that she handed this convicted cop killer of an unarmed 26-year-old black male in his own damn apartment eating a bowl of ice cream, and she was so vicious to use the defense that she feared for her life in his apartment. Judge Tammy Kemp must go. She must go for these reasons. Number one, the fact that she even allowed the Castle Doctrine, the law that states that you have the right to use deadly force to protect your own dwelling and also extensions of your dwelling like your car, like your place of business. Botham John was the true recipient, or should have been the true recipient of that Castle Doctrine. That was his dwelling. Many of you guys know that. But Judge Kemp, this black sister of a judge, allowed it. She also allowed the rule crime of passion, which was rejected. She also allowed the inappropriate interaction and behavior of the bailiffs of her court with letting the black female bailiff just stroke the whiteness of Amber Geiger, stroke her hair, fix it from off her shoulders, get a little dandruff off, just Stockholm syndrome at its finest. She also allowed the brother of the deceased, of the murdered, to, at his request, get up off the witness stand and hug the murderer. Now, we know the outcome has been celebrated and argued, but truth be told, the judicial system of these yet-to-be United States, she put that defendant in harm's way. She put the safety of the courtroom in jeopardy. So listen, since that seems to be the going move by way of Dallas, Texas, in the courtroom of Tammy Kemp, What happened if family members get on that witness stand and say, listen, I would just really like to give the killer of my mother a hug, the killer of my father a hug, the killer of my daughter or my son a hug. I just really want to forgive her and choke the life out of her. That was a possibility. Then she gets her black behind from behind her bench in her black robe, demonstrating the ultimate code blue linkage throughout this trial. See, code blue often, the code blue line of silence speaks very loudly at times, and it often comes in black. And in this case, literally, be it the robe and the ethnic makeup. She must go. She is recklessly dangerous in her display of blue overall. Hell, as a defendant, you can't even turn around and look at your family when you're at that defendant table, let alone turn around and wave at them, let alone hug them. Folks that are receiving more time for nonviolent drug offenses, a couple of ounces, receive an equal amount of time that she did or more. To my legal comrades, what are you prepared to do? Last point, isn't it funny that the same faith that many of you speak about as it relates to the, as you put it, the Jesus-like display by the younger brother? But then some of you are jumping on this judge in the same vein. Oh, I'm sure she'll say that was her faith. Some of y'all want to talk to us about faith. And most that are doing it are so heavenly bound that you ain't no damn earthly good, but think that you have the morality and the positioning to speak about faith. To some of us that are truly interconnected on a spiritual level with a higher power known to many as the Creator. More to come on this Tammy Kemp. I hope it was worth it, sister. See, some of us, the connectivity from our eyesight to our brain, the connectivity of the optical nerve, when we see that white complexion versus a complexion of darker hue, we become more sympathetic. Did you see her weep while she allowed the younger brother to hug? And while they're hugging, she's just weeping, you know. White folks done a number on a number of us. Our subconscious carries PTSD from our ancestors. And many of you have developed Stockholm syndrome from that. Disgusting. Despicable. One step forward, two steps back. Can't even accurately articulate the fact that that conviction of that Caucasian female former officer was the first time in history in these yet to be United States that a white or a Caucasian female officer was convicted of murder for a black life. That was a victory for the people on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we hand out forgiveness coupons, even from a black female judge. More to come, man. Big meeting this evening with Attorney Crump as it relates to Justice for Joe Beasley, Ambassador Dr. Joe Beasley. Until then, man, each one, reach one, teach one. Peace out.